In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Excel to calculate probabilities for a normal distribution. I'll be working with some data from a Chapter 6 homework problem and the normal distribution sheet in the Chapter 6 Excel resources. So in this problem, we are told that the average number of acres burned by forest and range fires in a large county is 4,200 acres per year, with a standard deviation of 850 acres. We need to find the probabilities for 4 different scenarios. All right, let's use Excel to make these calculations super simple. So in the first problem in A, we want to compute the probability that more than 5,000 acres will be burned in any given year. So first, let's plug in the information from the story about the mean and the standard deviation. So we're told that the mean is 4,200 and the standard deviation is 850 acres. X in this case is going to be 5,000 acres. So let's go ahead and plug in 5,000 here. First, let's calculate the probability that less than 5,000 acres will be burned. Let's plug in equals norm.dist x for 5,000, the mean of 4,200, and the standard deviation of 850, and true for cumulative, and we get 0.8267. So now, since we're interested for the probabilities to the right shown here, we're going to use our complement rule and do 1 minus this number here. So we'll go equals 1 minus this, and we get 0.1733. There's a 17% chance that more than 5,000 acres will be burned in any year. Now let's calculate the probability that fewer than 4,000 acres will be burned in any given year. So we've already done the math on this, so all we need to do is actually just change the number for X. So let's type in 4,000, and we get 0.4070, or a 40% chance that fewer than 4,000 acres will be burned in any given year. So let's go ahead and tackle C here, which is the probability that between 3,500 and 41 acres will be burned. So this is going to be a problem where we're going to need to calculate the probabilities for 2 numbers. We're going to call it the upper X and then the lower X, and then we're going to subtract the overlap, and then that will give us the probabilities in between. So let's go ahead and start with the upper number, which is going to be 4,100 acres. So I'll go ahead and plug in 4,100 here. We're going to say norm.dist. The X is going to be 4,100. The mean is going to be 4,200. The standard deviation is going to be 850, and then true for cumulative. And we have 0.4532. Let's go ahead and plug in the lower X, which is going to be 3,500. And that's going to be norm.dist, 3,500, 4,200 for the mean, 850 for the standard deviation, and true for cumulative. And that gives us 0.2051. So now to get the probability of the area in between shown here, we're going to go ahead and just subtract these 2 numbers. So we'll say equals this minus this, and we get 0.2481. So that's going to be about roughly a 25% chance that the number of acres burned will be between 3,500 and 4,100 acres burned. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. So in D, we want to find in the years that more than 5,500 acres are burned, help is needed from the Eastern Region fire teams. So we want to calculate the probability that help will be needed in any given year. So we see that it's just 5,500. So we're going to go back to the start of the problem here, and we're going to plug in 5,500 here. And so in this case, we'll refer to this row. So the probability of X is greater than 5,500 is 0.0631. So there's a 6% chance that help will be needed in any given year. All right, everyone, that wraps up this video showing how to use Excel to calculate the probabilities for a normal distribution. Please reach out if you have any other questions.